Hi everyone, it's been a while since my last DIY and today I'll be showing you how to do this cute wooden letter picture collage. To get started, we're going to need some wooden letters, a hot glue gun, some pictures, some Mod Podge and paint, and of course some paintbrushes. And I found all of these supplies at Michael's. So you want to start off by laying some newspaper on the floor since we'll be painting our letters. And so the first letter I'm going to paint is this and sign. So I'm going to start off by squeezing some red paint onto this paper plate. Then I'm going to take my sponge brush, dip it in the paint, and then start spreading it all over the and sign evenly. Since my picture collage is in black and white, I wanted to have a pop of color, so that's why I'm painting this and sign in red. I'm actually not going to be applying any pictures onto this because I think it might be a little difficult since it's pretty narrow. So here I'm just painting the inside and the outside of the letter as well. Since the red paint is already out, I'm going to be using it to paint the rims of the other letters. And I'm doing this because, like I said, my collage is in black and white, so I really wanted that hint of color. And I like using the sponge applicator to do this because it has a really thin tip, and so it's a lot easier to get around the border. And since the pictures are going to be covering the letter, you know, it's okay if you're a little bit messy. So I couldn't find any black letters, so I'm going to just paint the letters black myself. And I'm doing this because when you start applying the pictures, you might have some spots where, you know, the pictures aren't covering, but because the background will be black, it won't be noticeable. So once you're done painting, you want to make sure you change your newspaper so that it doesn't dry up and stick to it, and let it dry for a couple of hours. So what I'm doing here is trying to figure out where I want to glue my and sign in between the M and the J, and I'm tracing it with a pencil just so I know where it'll be placed as I start gluing my pictures. Once I cut out all of my pictures, I'm going to start placing it onto the letters to see where I want it to be glued. It really helps to have different sizes of pictures. As you can see, I have some huge ones and some really tiny ones, and it really helps when you start aligning it. And of course, it can overlap, so you don't have to be so clean about it. Now with your Mod Podge, you can start gluing your pictures one by one. So here I'm just lifting up a picture, applying some glue onto the wooden letter, and then just pressing it down for a few seconds. You can also apply the Mod Podge onto the back of the picture, and usually I'll do this with the smaller one so that it's a lot easier to paste. Once you're done Mod Podging everything, you want to flip it over and start cutting the edges with an X-Acto knife. Yes, I'm using a kitchen knife, but that's only because I couldn't find my X-Acto knife, and it was a lot harder, so I definitely recommend using an X-Acto knife. So now we're off to the gluing part. So you want to make sure that you are gluing it from the back, and so you'll get the hot glue gun and start going along the edges of where both the letters meet, like I'm doing here. You can also apply a little bit of the glue in the front as well. And this is the finished product. You can apply a thin layer of Mod Podge because it dries clear and it actually acts as a sealer. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I hope you enjoyed it and found it helpful.